So I made a video yesterday about the rising unemployment rates amongst Black women, and the response that I got was definitely very alarming. There were a lot of negative comments, and most of these comments were really coming from Black men who were saying things like it's because because Black women have bad attitudes, it's because DEI, it's because AI is taking over, and many of which just miss the whole thing, like who cares, nobody cares, it's time for Black women to be taken down a notch. And it was really alarming because the point of me posting that statistic was to get us to think critically about what's really happening.
You don't want to think critically about what's really happening because we've been telling you. Y'all been gassed up. Okay? Everything that you've been given by the powers that be for the past 50 years was for the purpose of propping you up to be above your man so you would disrespect him, destroy the community, destroy your family, destroy your children, and now you trying to figure out what's going on. Now that the smoke is cleared, you trying to figure out what's going on. It's very simple. You're not useful to the powers that be anymore. It's that simple. You're at a point where you don't care about being married to a Black man. You don't care about the leadership of a Black man. You don't even want the Black man to raise your daughters and your sons properly. You have literally contributed to destroying the Black community, and we've been saying it forever, and y'all just don't want to hear it. Nah, you don't want to think critically about what's really happening because we've been telling you. You've been gassed up. Everything that you've received in the past 50 to 60 years was for the sole purpose of propping you up above your man so that you would feel comfortable disrespecting him and not even needing him, which has ultimately resulted in the destruction of your community, your family, and your children. And now you're trying to figure out what's going on. Now that the smoke is cleared, you want to know what's going on. Well, it's very simple. The powers that be no longer need you. It's that simple. You are now in a place where you don't care about being married to the Black man. You don't care about his leadership. You don't even care about him raising your sons and daughters properly. Everything that they gave you, from affirmative action to government assistance to government jobs to more access to corporate America, which they don't give us, has given you the attitude that you don't need us, which has ultimately resulted in you unwittingly playing a role in the destruction of your own community. Quite frankly, you made a deal with the devil. Don't be mad at us now that he's back to collect.
Rapa conmigo con gusto. Ana, los bebés los cortaste. Oye, cortaste los bebés. Yo, cortaste la bebé. Los bebés los cortaste. Hey, hey.
Some of the observers at the airport can be heard laughing incredulously at the spectacle unfolding before them.
They use shaming tactics. Yo mama black. You hate women. Shaming tactics. Shame, shame, shame. Shame is one of the 4 major arrows of a low value woman. It's part of a low value woman's pathology. You cross the board. I don't care what you have on paper. When women operate in these areas, they diminish their value to low. Because if you really have a good argument, you should not have to shame somebody. Shaming is just a way to get control of the conversation. Shame is different than insults. Shame is used to turn a positive into a negative. Shaming tactics. Success shaming. Oh, well, you think you better than everybody because now you lost weight or because you got some money. Shaming tactics meant to keep you stuck. People who can't win the argument tend to use shaming tactics. Another sign of a low value woman is she often insults. To speak or treat with disrespect or scornful abuse. Another sign of a low value woman is she often insults. To speak or treat with disrespect or scornful abuse. You gay. You got a little pee-pee. You ugly. You this, you that. Insults. Oh my goodness. Think how often you will hear someone when they're losing an argument or can't stand on the merits of the argument, they want to come out with an insult. In debate, it's called an ad hominem, against the man. The first person to get off the topic and start making personal insults is the one that loses. Insult. Low value women, playbook, pathology, shame, shaming tactics, insults. And the insults can be your height, your weight, your money, the way you look. Insults, they are more ready to give an insult than a compliment. Insults. And the insults can be your height, your weight, your money, the way you look. Insults, they are more ready to give an insult than a compliment. Matter of fact, not only do they insult, they take pride in their insults. And if you can't take ready to give an insult than a compliment. Matter of fact, not only do they insult, they take pride in their insults. And if you can't take their insults, they shame you. Oh, look at you. You're too weak. Again, shaming tactics in their insults. And if you can't take their insults, they shame you. Oh, look at you. You're too weak. Again, shaming tactics. You're supposed to be able to handle their insults. And see, low value women feel like people should be able to handle them. That's not working. No one wants to handle a woman. And see, low value women feel like people should be able to handle them. That's not working. No one wants to handle a woman. So if you use shame as a tactic to get your way, you may be low value. If you're often insulting to get your way or to shut people up or shut people down, you may be low value. You notice the next one? S and the I. Next thing, let's go with the G. The G is guilt. Guilt. Making someone feel guilty, especially in order to induce them to do something. Guilt. A manipulation. Yo mama black is not only a shaming tactic, it's a guilting tactic. It's made to move you under control. See, these things are somewhat passive and somewhat aggressive. Shame, insults, and guilt are ways to manipulate control. exert power. And it's not done in a physical way, it's done in an emotional way. Physical bruises and scars and attacks heal. Emotional ones go on forever. Low value women, physical bruises and scars and attacks heal. Emotional ones go on forever. Low value women specialize in low value, high potency, shame, guilt, and insult attacks. They're good at them, guilting you. Oh, you're going out with your boys? Okay, well, oh, you must not love me. Guilt, meaning that if you don't do what you want them to do, you're a bad person. 4 signs of a woman that's low value. See, a high value woman by contrast, she's appealing and attractive. She has a comforting character. A high value woman is comforting in her character. She's not going to shame you, insult you, or guilt you. She's going to lift and build people up. She's enthusiastic and exuberant about things. She's, like I said, she's liberating. Low value women are the opposite. They are burdensome. A high value woman is a feminine asset. A low value woman is a liability. And it typically is a masculine liability. But it can be a feminine liability. There are some feminine low value women. Make no mistake. And the last sign that a woman may be low value is this one: the incessant need to be right. I have video after video after video after video after video of me having conversations with women here who will argue you into the ground. If you've ever dealt with somebody who absolutely needs to be right, having conversations with women here who will argue you into the ground. If you've ever dealt with somebody who absolutely needs to be right, having conversations with women here who will argue you into the ground. If you've ever dealt with somebody who absolutely needs to be right, the need to be right can be rooted in different things. But firstly, the need to be right is often a mask for insecurity. The person is concerned how others perceive them, and if they're wrong or they felt like they're not meeting whatever expectations, they will force themselves to be right. People who need to be right tend to be masking insecurity. Insecure about what? That's a different subject. One of the best things that you can learn is to let it go. You don't need to be right, just relax and being correct. Think about the young lady I was talking to the other day, the 26-year-old virgin, who kept on wanting to argue about fornication and the Bible. Wait till you listen to this call. All the things in there: shame, insults, guilt, the need to be right, low value. Just because you're a virgin and a Christian doesn't make you high value when you move in the way you.
It's the book of Jeremiah 31:22, King James Version. How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For Yahweh hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. A woman shall compass a man. Shalom, shalom. First off, we give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Akakadash. Yahweh being the true name for the Father, Yahweh Shai being named for his only begotten Son, who the world eagerly calls God, and Jesus Christ. I want to give double honors to our apostles, double honors to our elders, a great millstone, touch his truth and will well, and cite his hope, his truth, and honesty, sincerity. This is Billy Awasat. Could you listen to the spirit power of Yahweh Shai? Let's listen to the spirit. All right, it's going to response to the opening clips that you just seen played. Okay, you have a lot of men that are basically choosing to no longer deal with women on a level of marriage, and more particularly, if you want to put a label on it, or race of women that are really heavily being avoided and no longer having any type of pity or sympathy for is the so-called black women, or the so-called Israelite women, which is so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American women. They have been weaponized against their people in the form of independency and feminism over the past 60 years to 100 years. Okay, with all these programs and these benefits that have been thrown at their face, and also through the brainwashing, all right, and the influence that has been put in something that tells you a vision, television, in movies, entertainment, okay, and also physical gifts from the system. They've been weaponized to come against their men and turn their backs. And now the system is beginning to quit on using them for that because it's no longer working, because the men have actually woken up. There's been a lot of movements going on, you know, different pill movements where men have waken up and they're choosing, you know, to become passport bros, or they're just choosing to not get married anymore. And or you just have men just straight up dealing with the other nations and choosing not to deal with the women of their nations, no longer lusting after and saying, "Oh, this is, you know, a black queen." You know, they're not having those talks no more. My black queen, my black. They're not on that spirit no more. The women worship has failed. Okay, so they're no longer getting a lot of money from that. Men are just caught on to the bullshit that's going on. They've been oppressed so much. There's so many men on child support and alimony to where they're just not dealing with it altogether. Okay, so Esau is dropping, you know, his dual sword, which is using the woman against her own nation. So now he's stripping the benefits. There's no point in continuing to invest money in trying to sharpen a sword that isn't working anymore. He's going to use other tactics and come other ways. All right. So his use for Eve is done, is over. So now you have the devil that's in charge now, Trump. All right. He's the face of being the tool to strip away the benefits and wasting money to fund that type of agenda, because he Esau recognized that now Jake has caught on to it, man, and he's not going for the okie doke no more. Jake ain't dealing with it. He's done. He's seeing the so-called black man at astronomical numbers, you know, linking up with his own women, and he can't have that. He can't have his women being more attractive than Eve, and there's nothing he can do to make Eve attractive. So he's not wasting money on her no more. Okay, and he's taking away the government assistance and programs. You got 2 years on Section 8, and he's stripping food stamps as I speak. So he's no longer being a husband, the replaceable husband for Eve. So now that you have that, Eve is making videos, you know, such as the first clip that I shared. And you see a lot of Jakes, man, they're speaking out against this. It used to be only brothers mainly of like Great Millstone or Israelite men. They'd be putting out, you know, quote unquote red pill movement videos talking about how, you know, dysfunctional the black families are, and the black mothers, Eve, are. And it'd be mainly brothers of GMS that be speaking about the wickedness of the so-called black woman. But now you have so many videos from big time, you know, influencers on social media talking about, hey, look, they don't feel bad for the black woman getting their benefits stripped, and them struggling and losing jobs at a huge number. They don't feel bad. Why? Because how terrible they've been treating us, man. And the shit that they put us through is horrific. And it's been felt for a long time. It just ain't been spoken on too much. But now everybody's speaking on it. And everybody's showing you how they really feel about you, man. You've made enemies that you can't undo. And they're sick of it, man. So Eve is now getting to the bottom of the totem pole. And she thought she was at the top. She was exalted at the top. Hey, nobody give a shit about that Beyonce spirit no more. Nobody's lusting after the Beyoncés. Speaking of her herself, nobody gives a damn. And even with these celebrities being exposed with this whole Diddy program and shit, all them celebrities connected to this bullshit, hey, Jake is done even looking at that. At these women at the top lusting after. They're not attractive anymore. The trauma that comes with being with you because you've been so brainwashed to be above us, we don't want it. And we don't want the idealization of the marriage, because the true marriage that existed 60 years ago is no longer here. None of these women cook for you, clean for you, know how to do it. None of them want to submit to you. I have grandparents that have been married for over 50 years. Over 50 years. And I pay close attention to how they interact with one another. And my grandmother is in order. You know, and they have a happy 50 years of marriage. Peace. You will not find that out of this generation. 50 years from now, you will not have testimonies of somebody coming out or couples coming out saying we've been married 50 years. It does not exist because of the weaponization of our women. The houses have been destroyed, man. And the reason why we start out with the scripture, it says, Jeremiah 31:22 says, how long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For Yahweh hath created a new thing in earth. A woman shall compass a man. And when you look up that word compass and where it was translated from, okay, it says to turn about or around, back or towards, to go around, surround, change direction. Okay, so a woman will change the direction of a man. And what did the scripture say the direction a woman is supposed to be in regards to a man? 1 Timothy 2:12, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to exert authority over the man, but to be in silence. So a woman is not supposed to put her authority over a man. And she's supposed to listen to her man. Going up the previous verse, verse 11, that the woman learn in silence with all subjection. Okay? It says the act of subjecting a country or person to one's control, being subjugated, being controlled. And that's the number one thing. A lot of these videos, these women come out. A man is supposed to lead, not control his woman, but to lead. Well, in order to be a leader, you have to control your army. Okay? Part of being leadership is to have control. If you have lost control, if there's no joystick, you cannot move that character in that game that's being played. Okay, so them not wanting to be controlled goes right into other verses in the Bible of what you should do with a woman that's gone into that mindset. And what has happened in the brainwashing of America and Babylon the Great is that a woman is to not be controlled. She is to be free. She's to have independency. You can't tell her what to do. She can pick whatever she wants to pick, do whatever she wants to do, be whatever she wants to be with, and have as many as she wants to have. So what ends up happening is she gets extremely polluted. She was not given that spiritual gift of discernment. So she discerns her way into picking partners repetitively, and most of them be bad. And the good ones that they do pick, they don't have the discernment to understand that that's the good one and how to behave towards them. So they blatantly and intentionally screw that one up too. And then they have different bodies on them and different fathers on them. And the woman retains that genetic code from every man that she sleeps with. It becomes embedded in her DNA. So she now has a lot of the attributes from one man, and she goes to lay with another man, and they argue and fight and quarrel because he's arguing and fighting the attributes from all the other men that she's adopted into her genetic code. It becomes multiple personalities. And there's a word for multiple personalities. Here it is here. Okay, it says multiple personality disorder or dissociative identity disorder, DID. Commonly known as multiple personality disorder, is a contentious mental health condition that typically arises as a result of traumatic events to help people avoid unpleasant memories. To completely comprehend the complexity and nuisance of DID, the study investigates its symptomology, diagnostic criteria, therapeutic modalities, and historic controversies. So, multiple identities. It's a disorder, man. And what this does is it causes contention. It causes fights and arguments. Because a woman, when she lays with a man, her spirit becomes, and her flesh becomes one flesh and one spirit with her man. She begins to think like her man and want the things that her man wants. She becomes part of his genetic code to please him and submit to him. But yet, if she's had too many partners, she's bringing in all those attributes from other men, and she has too many to compare to. So he can't meet all those expectations from all the other guys. She has far too high expectations and too many, and there's contention and fights and arguments and problems. This is why there's such harsh laws biblically of what you're supposed to do when you catch someone in the act of adultery, of a woman stepping out on her husband, okay, and being with another man, or a man sleeping with a woman that belonged to another man. The punishment, according to scriptures, is supposed to be death. Because later down the road, it causes severe, severe problems in the nation when you got people like this walking around. And they just become a demonic entity at the end of the day. Too many bodies, too many spirits, and they can't even know what thoughts belong to them at this point. Too many spirits in their bodies walking around. And there's nothing you can do to cleanse that. It stays for the rest of their life. So you got women that have been with 10, 20, 30 men. Forget about it. They can never be a true wife. This is 1 Timothy 2:11. It says, let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. Okay, we've already brought up the definition of subjection, submitting to one's control. All right, so she's supposed to learn with all subjection. And you've seen the video, what happens? You know, that woman gave the clip, hey, I was controlling him, this and this and this and that. In the ancient world, look, women, there were certain rules in place for a reason. Women are supposed to remain covered. Women are supposed to be quiet, keep silence. When all those rules were met, the kingdom functioned smoothly. But the minute you allow that to go opposite, you have chaos. You have broken families, broken homes, baby mamas, women in their 30s, going on 40s, begging and desperately hoping for marriage. And now getting kicked off government assistance and wishing that they had a husband and wondering where they went wrong. This is Ecclesiastes 3 and 9. For the blessing of the father establishes the houses of children, but the curse of the mother rooteth out foundations. If you are so-called black, Latino, or Native American, as a vast majority, a lot of y'all are Israelites. And as an Israelite, I want to speak to you personally. You are cursed. You are cursed. You are cursed. And that's one thing we have to understand. And once you understand that word and the phrase that you are cursed, as a curse, you probably will not have a successful, happy marriage, especially living in Babylon the Great in these generations. 60 years ago, you probably had a chance. You had a chance of having a happy marriage and being able to last 30, 40 years. The mindset was different, and you were cursed in other ways. And this generation, now that we've been in this captivity longer, the women are gone. These women are gone, man. They're lost. You got a few chosen women that get it, that aren't gone. They maybe been blessed on how to be raised, on how to be a actual wife to a husband. They're blessed with their father in their life to talk to them about certain things, the things that attributes they're supposed to have to be desirable for a wife, which is a woman that seeks well to her household, can cook, clean, knows how to lift up her man, his countenance, his spirit, take the load off his shoulders, and is able to work with talents and willingly with her hands to help him with income if need be. Submissive, is kind with her words, wants children, knows how to take care of children, knows how to do her kids' hair, bath them well, make sure they have clean clothes, and knows how to teach them things. Notice I didn't say anything about a boss queen woman career. Nah. They're raised in the right ways. A lot of those women will shine and be found or seen. I mean, it's sad to say, but it's going to be at the time of damn near chaos, man. When all hell breaks loose, shit hits the fan. I mean, some brothers are going to be paired up spiritually, and brothers might be blessed to meet them before that last minute time. But mostly, a lot of these women are going to be filtered out and weeded out in times of Jacob's trouble when it begins to pick up more. Okay? But as of right now, while women are still in the Queen of Heaven worship that's going on in America, they're at the top to pick and choose. They are what was being worshipped. It's even harder and harder to find the real ones. Okay? So if you get with a woman, just know your curse will kick in, and she's gonna root out that foundation of that family you're trying to create and build. So you shouldn't seek. The scriptures say, "Seek not a wife." If you're loosed, seek not a wife. If you already got one right now, and you guys are able to work it out to where she's not extremely overbearing and stressful of ripping apart your household, if she's not doing the things you've seen in the videos that I shared with you, the opening clips, disrespecting you, putting her hands on you, talking to you any kind of crazy, trying to manipulate you, trying to control you in the ways that you see the woman speaking on, she's not giving you hell. She might be giving you a little bit, but she's learning and trying to do better. And she's actually not continuing bad behaviors. The scriptures say, are you bound to a wife? Seek not to be loose. So just pray for your situation. and keep it rocking, man. If you be happy to dwell with her, and she be happy to dwell with you, you keep going. But if she's a drag in your home, she does things you have no choice. She started vandalizing property and shit, like you seen the woman busting the windows at that dude's car. Nah, you can't stay with that. You're gonna lose your vehicle. You're out of thousands of dollars, and you're gonna go in extreme debt, and damn near end up homeless trying to pay off debt to pay for the damage that she's doing. She gotta go. She jumping on you, well, you're gonna snap and try to defend yourself. And cops tend to take their side no matter what. So now you got a record. Now you can't get a future job. Can't provide for yourself. She got to go. She's disrespecting to the point she looks at you as low and nothing. Oh, well. When she looks at you as low and nothing, and she's talking to you with all the name calling, there's somebody that she's looking at as something that she's not doing that to. This means she's not loyal and faithful. She's cheating on you. And she's going to put you in extreme mental anguish of you trying to get her right. Let her go. Okay? So that's that curse, man. That curse hits on those mothers, and they're going to root out the foundation of your family. Can't avoid it. Can't avoid the curse. The curses were put on us because we broke the Heavenly Father's Yahweh's heart by breaking his law, statute, commandments, and committing adultery on him by doing that. So he uses our women so we can feel his pain. You have to remember that. One of the elders did a lesson on that, man. That hit home. The reason why our women are in the condition that they are is so we can feel the pain that we put our Heavenly Father through by breaking the law, statutes, commandments. When we did that, we committed adultery on him, serving other gods and stuff. So he's allowed our women to do it to us, so we know how the shit feels. So you got to know when a woman's in your life, if she's just that person to be that type of lesson. Don't take her serious. She's there to just show you, hey, look, you're cursed. If she's just a cursed lesson walking around, keep it moving. Don't try to save her and break her curse. She's cursed, man. You're cursed. Don't deal with her. It's Ecclesiastes 7:28 says, which yet my soul seeketh, but I find not. One man among 1,000 have I found, but a woman among all those have I not found. So by numbers alone, your chances, if you mathematically do the percentages, if King Solomon only found one of 1,000, but of 1,000 he didn't find not a single good woman, and this guy was a king, the wisest of all kings, have you not? And has had many, many wives, many concubines. But of all those, he didn't find not one righteous one. And you pretty much need a sliver of a righteous woman in this side to be able to even have a chance of dealing with them. So if he didn't find out a single woman out of 1,000, what do you think your chances are? Let's say maybe you talk to, maybe you done smash, 10, 15, however many women. But you in the tens though. 10, 20. Some brothers, hey, they done lost count how many women they might have had. Other brothers can count on a hand. However many it is, but y'all ain't numbers of thousands. So for you to sit up here and think you're gonna wife one and think she's gonna be so committed to you when King Solomon then went through 1,000 in the ancient world when women were actually raised right, what are your chances of having a good wife on this side? In the last days in Babylon the Great, America, where they got satanic statues being erected. Come on now. And they got parades of momos in the streets. They didn't have that shit going on back then when he was going through 1,000. But now, what are your chances of getting a woman that is going to be good enough and behaving enough to be a wife? And you got men coming out with videos talk about how they don't feel sorry for the black woman because of all the trauma and everything that's been going on. Look, man, forget about it. Unless the Lord sets something up and pairs you up with one, with somebody he might, and you'll know in that day, but it's going to have to be a highly spiritual interaction. And she have to be in that Isaiah 4:1 spirit. If they ain't coming correct like that, forget about it. This is Sirach 25 and 26 from the Good News Translations. Don't let a bad wife have her way, any more than you would allow water to leak from your cistern. If she won't do as you tell her, divorce her. There it is. It's in the scriptures. If she won't do as you tell her, divorce her. So she starts talking outside out the mouth. You can't control me, nigga. You ain't shit. I do what I want to, nigga. Hey, this is how a very masculine, disrespectful black woman talks. And even some Hispanics and Native American women. This is instruction. Divorce her. That's it. She's too far gone. There's no saving that hoe. Let her go. Let her be for the streets. She'll get passed around. You know, it'll break your heart thinking about it, her laying with somebody else. But she's going to go through probably 30, 40 men after you. That's just the reality. And to the point to where she's got over 4+ kids. And she's got so many bodies and she's getting older. She's hitting her 40s. So they hit that 40 mark. Really, after they hit that 35 mark, they 36. They're going on 40 and they got 4+ kids. All these different fathers. It gets to a point to realize that they failed. And there's no amount of sex that's going to make them feel better. And now men are just straight up not wanting to deal with them at all off the mere fact of how many kids they got. Their confidence begins to shoot way low. Their body is going to start going down. Their looks start going down. The women in their 20s are stepping up, taking the place where they used to be. And they start feeling extremely sorry for themselves. And that's when they start turning to Sister Mabel's. Now they want to be holier than thou and celibate in the church somewhere. Screaming hallelujah. You know, and sharing hundreds of Bible verses that they don't really believe in or follow. Because they get to a point that they gave up. Buy a dog, die alone. Or just be mad at the world, man. And just become losers and bums. That's their future. So that's their punishment. Once they get that divorce, they want to accept that mindset. That's the rest of their life. They got to deal with that consequence. They didn't want to be told what to do. They just didn't want to be put in their natural order, man, which a woman is supposed to be in subjection and to be a wife and love her husband. But their concept of love is to accept all of the flaws that she does to you, and you still need to be with her. If you still be with her after she does all the evil to you and does wrong, then you really love. That's their concept of what love is. And that's off and wrong. It goes against this scripture. This is Amos 7:17 in the NLT. But this is what Yahweh says. Your wife will become a prostitute in this city, and your sons and daughters will be killed. Your land will be divided up, and you yourself will die in a foreign land. And the people of Israel will certainly become captives in exile far from their homeland. Like I said, you're cursed, man. I'm cursed. We're cursed as Israelites, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Part of that curse is your wife is becoming a prostitute in the city. And a prostitute is a woman that exchanges sex for some type of monetary gain or value, whether it be she's looking for a house to stay or a free dinner, okay, or a man to spend some money on her at the club and pay her some bills. He offers to do something for her. She gives him sex. And that's what these women require. You need to take them on a date. You know, you need to spend some money on him. Boom, he spends money. If he's got the social media look on him, he's attractive, they go. And that's your wife that will do that to you. Despite all the things you've done for her, the stability you might have provided for her, the home, the roof over her head, the father figure to her kids from other baby daddies. That curse will still kick in. She's going to be a hoe in the city. She's still going to hop on Facebook dating apps, and go on dates with other men and give her a box of somebody at the end of the day. That's what it is. Curse, man. And these wicked women will do that. This is Isaiah 3:12 in the NLT. Childish leaders oppress my people, and women rule over them. O my people, your leaders misled you. They send you down the wrong road. There you go. You got a lot of childish leaders in America, man. And you got women ruling over. Look at Kamala Harris that ran for her presidency, man. Pulled up during campaigns with an abortion bus. Can't make this shit up. Proverbs 31:2 in the Good News Translation. You are my own dear son, the answer to my prayers. What shall I tell you? Don't spend all your energy on sex and all your money on women. They have destroyed kings. So if you put all your energy into desperately trying to get a girlfriend or a woman, man, and spend all your money in substance. They've done things to destroy kings, man. Look at Samson and Delilah situation. Not only was he king, he was a prophet, and she deceived him all the way, man. All the way. To the point he got his eyeballs ripped out of his damn socket. It ain't worth it, man. This is 1 Corinthians 11:8. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. And this mindset that's been pushed in America is that women are the prize. And we have to do so many things to be accepted by her and to get chose by her for a date. You know, you need to open the door. You know, you need to pay for the meal and all of this stuff, man. You need to roll out the red carpet. It's ridiculous. But the time has comes where the scriptures say a woman will come to the man. This is Isaiah 4:1 in NLT. In that day, so few men will be left that 7 women will fight for each man, saying, let us all marry you. We will provide our own food and clothing. Let us take your name so we won't be mocked as old maids. 7 women to 1 man. Okay? And they shooting a shot. Not us begging for a shot with women. Here's another one. Another translation. Good News Translation. When that time comes, 7 women will grab hold of 1 man and say, we can feed and clothe ourselves, but please let us say you are our husband so that we won't have to endure the shame of being unmarried. That time is coming. The stock of a man is going up, and the videos coming out, of us being hip to the bullshit and them snatching that government assistance away, the pressure is being on right now to this getting this mindset. Okay? They said we can feed and clothe ourselves. So I done been on a date with a woman. She said, hey, look, you need to buy me a dress to go on this date. You need to pay for my gas money to come to your house. I mean, I can't make this shit up, man. Gas money to come to your house, and you need to pay for the dinner. That's what a man does. That's what men have done for me. And them days are going to be over with, man. It's going to be so bad, women are going to be begging. Begging, man. So, the time period of us bowing down and worshiping and, you know, being so over the hills just to be with women like this is done. It's over with. You can save and listen to your TLC songs you want and your Beyonce Spirit type songs. And Love Don't Cost a Thing, all that other bullshit, man. Hey, look, man. All you Tina Turner women, stay your ass over there. You chose to be brainwashed with all that bullshit. Save it. Men are through, man. They're waking up to it. So with that, Lord's will, this lesson was edifying. I'm going to close out, give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakadash. Double honors for our apostles and elders, a great millstone, taught us truth and will well. And start to see hopefully pushing his truth, honesty, sincerity. Shalom.